Hi, I'm attorney Gregory Dell, joined by attorney Rachel Alters, and we're going to talk about one of Rachel's cases that she recently won against Unum Disability Insurance Company, in which she was able to reverse a long-term disability denial. And Rachel, in this video, we want to talk about the background of the case, how you were able to be successful, and provide some tips to some people who find themselves in a similar situation, because there's thousands of people out there who have been denied benefits by Unum. So let's get into the background of your case for starters.
This was a client who was a financial advisor, and she wasn't able to do her job anymore due to being diagnosed with fibromyalgia and depression and anxiety, which often come along with fibromyalgia diagnosis. And she applied for the benefits, and Unum said, sorry, we don't think that, maybe you have fibromyalgia, but in our opinion, it's not as severe or severe enough to prevent you from being able to be a financial advisor, as well as the depression anxiety. They didn't think it was to such a severity that would prevent her from doing the material substantial duties of her job. So she came to me to help her with the appeal. She only gets one chance at an appeal with Unum. And so I took over the appeal, and we were very successful and got her benefits.
So this was the classic diagnosis doesn't equal disability denial.
Right.
What did Unum rely upon to deny her long-term disability benefits?
They basically, all they did was review the medical records. They had a peer review with, a rheumatologist that they hire to review her medical records and to discount everything her doctors stated in the records and in the attending physician statements, because her doctors stated specifically that she had restrictions and limitations due to pain and fatigue and something called brain fog that prevented her from being able to be a financial advisor. You have to be on the ball in that type of position. You can't, be falling asleep at your desk. So her doctors put all of this in writing, and Unum had their doctors say, well, we don't think that her diagnosis is severe enough and her restrictions and limitations that were provided by her physician, we disagree with, that we think she's fine.
So fibromyalgia, Rachel, is a diagnosis, sometimes some people call it a diagnosis of exclusion, right, but it's definitely a subjective diagnosis.
Right.
So how does Unum review the medical records, which I'm sure had all of the information in it that needed to say this person meets the criteria for fibromyalgia, but without examining your client, how do they determine that the person doesn't have restrictions and limitations?
Well, it's unbelievable, because this is how they do this all the time, when truly the best way to determine whether somebody has fibromyalgia and it's severe is to do an in-person examination by a physician, such as a rheumatologist who specializes in this condition. So they choose not to do these things, number one, because they just feel like it's cheaper for them to do a paper review, and they can get away sometimes with doing the paper reviews and saying, well, we just disagree, when in turn the best way to determine whether somebody is sick with fibromyalgia and it's severe enough to prevent them from working is to examine them and to see what type of pain they're having and what other symptoms they're having, and how they present to you in your doctor's office.
Okay, so let's get into what your strategy was in order to get the benefits reversed and get your claimant paid benefits by Unum.
Well, we work with her doctors hand in hand, so we will speak with them, and we provide them with the denial letter that specifically sets out the reasons why Unum believes that she could go back to work. And oftentimes the doctors become upset with these letters, because what they do is say, oh, well, the doctors don't know what they're talking about, and our doctors know better than the doctors that are actually treating the patient. So a lot of times the doctors want to work with us because they see that, what are these Unum doctors talking about? They've never even examined my patient. This has been my patient for years. So we work with the doctors. We prepare something called an attending physician statement, which is several pages that are specifically geared towards fibromyalgia and how it's diagnosed. And there's something called a wide-based pain scale and severity of symptoms that we use, and to determine where the pain is in the person's body and how severe the symptoms are and how long they've had the symptoms. And the doctor fills all of these things out, and this is a well-known strategy that rheumatologists are using to diagnose these conditions. And they know that this fibromyalgia is real. Fibromyalgia is a real illness that people are suffering, and it's it's mostly with women, but a lot of men also have it, and it's to such a severity that it can prevent you from even being able to function in your daily activities.
Did Unum pay your client at all in this claim?
No, never paid.
Okay. And so when you submitted your appeal, what did it look like in terms of the form, the structure of it? Was it one page? I mean, so people can understand what you're
Sure.
actually doing with this
Sure.
appeal letter.
Well, the actual letter is usually somewhere between 10 and 30 pages long. Sometimes it's longer. It just depends on the amount of medical facts that you have to put into the letter. We also put in support letters from family members. We do a personal statement from the client. We add in, the job descriptions. It's a very long, tedious process to
Right.
create these letters. And on top of that, we're going to add in medical support, which can be thousands of pages of medical
Right.
records. So, we can be giving a stack this high to the insurance carrier, with our appeal, depending on how much medical information is available.
Are they all the same? Is there some form you use, or is every single one custom?
Every single appeal is custom because it's going to depend on what your condition is, what type of testing you've had. We always look at the condition, the type of job that you have, and all kinds of different things. We may send our clients for testing depending on what their limitations and restrictions are.
Now, I know you've handled hundreds of fibromyalgia claims, and in this one in particular, was there something specific that Unum did once you submitted everything? Did they reach back out to the doctors? Did they send the claimant for an exam? Do you know what happened?
Yeah, they did not send the claimant for an exam, even though that's something that they should have done from the get-go, because that would have given them a better idea and a clearer picture of her condition. And the claimants always ask me, I don't understand why they don't send me for an exam, because my doctors see me and they know that I'm severe. Like, I come into the office half the time I can't even walk. So they didn't do that. They didn't, all they did was review the medical records again, but based on whatever we provided in our appeal, which
Right.
was significant, their peer review physicians basically changed their opinion and said, you know what, we think now that there's been enough evidence presented to us. Before there wasn't, now there is, and we're going to overturn the decision based on the medical opinions of her physicians, the medical evidence we provided, the medical records, which detailed all of her restrictions and limitations, and we also provided a pain journal, which documents how much pain they're in, the severity of the pain, and how often they are in pain, and that helps give them more of a visual of what their day-to-day issues are.
Right. It sounds like from your experience of having handled hundreds of these and being able to really understand fibromyalgia, that you know how to present the information on behalf of a claimant where any other doctor is going to get it, and it'd be very hard for them to reasonably disagree,
Right.
but for them maybe examining the claimant. So it sounds like you did an awesome job for this claimant. And what tip would you provide for someone who has fibromyalgia, is maybe considering filing, or they're on claim now, and they really want to put themselves in the best position to make sure they're going to get benefits? What would you suggest to them?
The issue I run into a lot with claimants that have fibromyalgia and they want to get on claim is that sometimes they just treat with their primary care doctors, because that is something that primary care physicians are familiar with fibromyalgia. But the insurance carrier want to really see that you're treating with a specialist, a rheumatologist, who specializes and knows how to diagnose the fibromyalgia, knows how to treat it, because now there's several types of treatment you can do. You can take anti-anxiety medications, there's anti-seizure medications that treat fibromyalgia. So they want to see that you're with a specialist, and not just that you see the specialist once, but they want to see a continuum of care, so that you're ongoing, seeing the specialist, every 2 or 3 months, making sure that there's documentation. That's one of the biggest things I run into when they say, oh, I'm just treating with the primary. I always suggest, please go see a specialist.
That's a
Yeah.
great tip, and certainly will be helpful. So I know, Rachel, also that we always recommend that anyone who has a denial with Unum to reach out to you or myself or any of our disability lawyers, no matter where you live in the country. We'll always provide you with an immediate free phone consultation. It's as simple as probably a 10-minute read for you of a denial letter, because we read these like we read the newspaper. It's routine for us, and we'll be able to let you know right away the issues that we think will come up, how we think we can help you, what it may cost you to work with us, and really what your chances of success will be. So if Rachel, myself, or any of us can help you, we look forward to the opportunity to discuss your Unum claim. Hi, I'm Gregory Dell, the managing attorney of Dell Disability Lawyers, and I hope you find the video you just watched helpful. We put these videos out all of the time, and we'd love if you would subscribe to our YouTube channel. Beyond our videos on our YouTube channel, we also have lots of information available on our website at diattorney.com, and we encourage you to come to our website. the goal is that we want you to be educated about the disability insurance process. And when you get to our website, you'll see that we have information all about your specific disability insurance company, your occupation, and your medical condition. And we've designed our website such that you can easily search our website to find things that you may specifically be looking for. Now, at our website, we have thousands and thousands of pages of information, hundreds of videos that you can search, plus we're building a section of reviews of all the disability insurance companies, and we have the Ask Our Lawyer section where you can go ahead and ask us any questions that you may have. Now, we realize that you may not need us right now, but you may need us in the future to help you with your disability claim, and we think one of the best ways to keep in touch is by clicking the button below and subscribing to our channel. And most importantly, again, no matter where you live in the country, we're always available. Just go ahead and give us a call. We're happy to discuss your claim and let you know immediately if we can help you.